Alright. Oh, okay. Got everything up and running. Everything's good there. Perfect. Alright. That's all I need. Feeling good. Alright. Cool. Well, just wait for people to join in, and we'll go from there. What was I gonna do? Oh, yeah, obviously I need to make an actual post, and, well, I need to check my YouTube and make sure I'm actually live. That would actually be really helpful. do. Let's see. Bruno Bites, how's it going? Those of you tuning in, want to start up just saying Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a great holiday. Trigger, how's it going? It's good to hear from you guys. I know it's been a minute, but I'm ready to get the ball back rolling on some things, and just kind of took the holiday season to kind of unwind, focus on spending time with family and stuff like that. So, but now we're into the new year, and well, we got the ball rolling. I'll talk more about that here in a moment. Let me say we are live. Link. Paste. Copy. Send over to YouTube. Post. Alright. Oh man, is it snowing for the Bears game tonight? Oh boy. That's gonna be fun. Obviously, a lot has occurred since we last talked, but I guess real quick, I just want to say I want to offer my condolences to the families of Michael and Ned, to the families of Greg Biffle, and of course Denny Hamlin as well. Obviously, I know it's the off season's been a little rough, but regardless of that, it's a new year, and ready for a fresh start, because that's important. Let's see, Brian Walber, hello, how you doing? Alright, I'll post that, and we are solid. I've made those posts, we are good to go. So yeah, obviously things have been crazy, but, we're now about a month away, almost, from the Daytona 500, less than a month from the start of the season, which is very exciting. Looking forward to a new season and all that. I guess first things first is I want to address something and make it clear that, and I've probably talked about this before, that, I could easily do what other YouTubers do, but, my content is, I want it to stand out, right? And that's why I make the content that I make, because it's meant to celebrate racing. So, as always, I have my own opinions, but I don't want my content to be just about my opinions, because I want to be different. And above else, I want this to be a place where we can celebrate racing, not necessarily debate it. So, I think that's important. So, KFB for the 500, 100% trust. I would love to see Kyle Busch win the 500. I would be thrilled for him. Brad too. Obviously, he's not going to run the Clash. Obviously, had a little bit of an injury over the offseason. Hope he's healing up. So yeah, that's a little unfortunate for Brad, but hopefully he'll be good to go for the 500. He's always good on super speedways, and he's practically won just about every super speedway race except the 500. So I look back on the 2023 race that I went to when Brad and Buescher were running up front, and then Kyle Busch was up there towards the end too. So, oh man, that was crazy for my first 500 that I ever attended. So, and then Stenhouse ended up winning it, which was crazy, but it was pretty cool to see because that is a special race, and that is a it is to me a fantastic race, and regardless of how people feel, it is a special kind of event that anyone can watch and a day to celebrate why we love racing. It's the Daytona 500, so I'm looking forward to it. I will say I don't know if I'm going there or not this year, but if I don't, that's okay. Those other races I'm planning on going to. Zilic is your... Oh, if Connor Zilic wins the Daytona 500, I mean, that would be nuts. 19 years old, winning he would break Trevor Bayne's record of happy birthday Trevor Bayne, 20 years old. He would beat that record for sure. I mean, if you're in the race, right, anything can happen. I mean, obviously Jimmy Johnson's going to get the open exemption spot, so he's in no matter what. It's great to see the 7-time champion out there racing. He finished third in the race last year. That was so cool to see that. I couldn't help but be ecstatic for the guy, because it's like, I know he's past his prime, but he's still out there hustling. He's still out there racing. He's got Legacy Motor Club, and of course he's going to run San Diego and the truck race. He's going to make his second ever truck start. How cool is that? My dream is to attend the Daytona 500 as someone from Brazil. That is so cool, and I hope you get to go someday, because absolutely go. It is worth it, 100%. It is an amazing experience. I've ran into all sorts of folks from all over the world at Daytona. I saw some folks from Sweden, from Brazil, from other places. So, I think that really just shows the importance of an event like the Daytona 500. So, it's just it's a fun way to kick off the season. The NFL ends with a Super Bowl. We start with our Super Bowl. We start off with a bang, right? So, and hopefully that can carry through the season. If Shauna Robinson can win the 500, so can Zilic. Hey, absolutely, right? So anything's possible. So I would love to see Zilic pull it off. That would be huge for the sport, I think, if that were to happen. SNL Rusty will cross timelines and win. I mean, and that's, speaking of Sunday Night Lights, that's going to be a big story. That's still a big story. Rusty's won everything but the 500. Can Rusty finally win the 500, So, really hoping that Jimmy can get an Busch Finity wide ride for San Diego, too. Yeah, I hope so, too. I feel like Sam Hunt could probably hook him up. Why not? Run the triple header. Have some fun with it. That's his home area. So I think it's special for Jimmy to get to run an event like that. And I'll tell you what, I'm really excited about San Diego. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to the NASCAR racing on a naval base. I mean, I don't think they've ever done that before, so that's pretty cool. I won't give anything away regarding silly season, but I will say we've been making a lot of progress, been painting a lot of cars, so, we're getting the ball rolling. So, obviously I know it's been a minute on updates and everything else, but we're making really good progress, and hopefully here soon we can get the ratings and get the races going, and I'll keep you guys updated on all that. So, I can't really give an estimate on when 2002 is going to come out, obviously. If I were to make a rough guess, probably March. Initially, I wanted it to be around the time of the 500, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen, just because, again, just kind of took a step back last month, but now we're ready to get the ball rolling, and still planning for the next Racing Infinity as well. So, again, I apologize for the lack of content, but there is a lot coming for 2026, and there's a lot coming for the SNL timeline. There's a lot of big seasons coming up for sure. So, when you look at 02, 03, 04, and so on and so forth, and of course the more racing infinities we want to do. So, yeah, ideally, I would like to get 02, 03, and 04 done this year. That's going to be the goal. Let's see. Have you ever been to the Indy 500? Yes. I've been a handful of times. So, my first one was 2015 when Juan Pablo Montoya won, which felt like a redemption arc in a way because I was there in 09 when he was dominating the Brickyard 400 and he had all those issues late, and it cost him a chance to win. So it was cool to kind of see that come full circle. And then I went back in 2021. So that was, the grandstands were packed, but they didn't have all the infield stuff, obviously, because of the issues with COVID and everything else. But still a great crowd. And I saw Elio Castroneves win his 4th Indy 500. And then I went in 23, 24, and 25. The plan is to go again this year as well. So, been going with my friends Michael and John. It's been a ton of fun. The Indy 500 is it's a blast. It's definitely a lot of fun. It's a party, so to be able to be able for 3 years in a row to go to both the Daytona 500 and Indy 500 is pretty awesome. So I'm thankful for that. I'm very thankful. So yeah, Fork in the Road. Yeah, Fork in the Road's putting out some great content. Definitely check those guys out. Yeah, Rusty's inevitable. Yeah, going to the Indy 500 live is truly a spectacle. I definitely recommend it. Imagine if Johnson wins in San Diego. Oh man, the scenes. That'd be beautiful. I'm fully anticipating SVG versus Zilich on the road courses this year. We'll see. Obviously Zilich is a rookie. Still got a lot to learn. I think he did a solid job in the starts he made in Cup. So, and he was supposed to run Watkins Glen, but what happened there. So, I'm looking forward to that. All right. We'll continue to chat, but I do want to get on to the first race here. Let me double check something here. Michael Marutz would love that. Yes, he would. I can just hear it now. Joey! that would be beautiful. I would be thrilled for Jimmy if he won another race. Get number 84 in the 84. So, or I don't know, even win the Truck or Xfinity race could be special, Let's see. I want to make sure. These are all the cars. Looking through here. Okay. If Rusty's inevitable, then who is Iron Man? That's a good question. I'll be a bigger field for this one. Yeah, I'm just, the first race we're going to do is a 2001 Super Sportsman race. So, and with a little fun twist, I'm just making sure that, just me double checking the rosters and making sure we're all squared away. Make sure I got everything I need. 36 Garfield should be pretty good. Alright. Shauna has to be the Iron Man. Or I guess woman, right? So I will say there's definitely a lot to look forward to in 2002. We're getting a lot of stuff squared away and set up, and I think 2002 is going to be a really good one. So I'm really looking forward to it. All right, I'll pop this up here in a moment. I just want to make sure I get the right car set. how long do I want to make this race? 60 laps should be okay. Yeah, I'll do 60, and then we'll see where we lie for the other race. Okay. Cool. And ours there. All right. So we're going to do the 2001 Super Sportsman Series at Calder Park. I figured we could do a little bit of a international flair to kick things off, which has, of course, been another storyline, doing all the international exhibitions and stuff like that in Sunday Night Lights. So let's hop into it. All right. And, excuse me. By the way, I hope you guys had a great Christmas and a great New Year's. I hope y'all were able to enjoy it to the fullest extent and everything else. I was able to go to St. Louis again.
Drivers, to your cars.
Be with family amongst everything else. Let me turn down the volume just a smidge. Yeah, it should work. Okay. Alright, so Hermie Sadler's going to be on the pole with Ron Barfield in second. 36 car field for this one. Jolly season. Good to hear. Yeah, I had a lot of fun heading to St. Louis and
Drivers, to your cars.
getting to see everyone. You probably just saw me save the results. I honest to God, that is a OCD thing I have where I always save the qualifying results when I do these races for SNL in case the game crashes. Because sometimes the game will crash. As a matter of fact, I think last time we streamed, or a recent time that we streamed, I know that I actually did end up crashing. A race did end up crashing. And I had to redo the race, which was pretty funny. So, I'll go through the starting lineup here. Obviously, Hermie Sadler on pole, followed by Ron Barfield. Teammates in row 2, Kirk Shelmerdine, Jason Jarrett. Followed by, of course, our champ, Nathan Hosley. Frank Kimmel, the ARCA champ. We'll talk a little bit about Toyota as well for this. There's Andy Houston, followed by Justin Labonte, Billy Venturini, Robert Huffman. All the Toyotas actually qualified pretty well. Larry Foyt, Travis Quaffle, Takuma Koga, Lyndon Amick. Then you got Bobby Hamilton Jr., Scott Wimmer, Bill Bigley, Angie Wilson. You got Jason Rudd and Jason Schuler. So got a couple Jasons there. 74, Mario Goslin, Jeff Purvis in the 09, Rene Dupuis in the 42, Bobby Gearhart, Curtis Markham, Kelly Denton, Mike Dillon, Randy Porter, Andy Kirby, Rich Bickle, Michael Rich, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Tracy Leslie, Shane Hall, Kevin Grubb, and Ashton Lewis. There's your starting lineup. Do a little fast forwarding here. All right. Also, talking about football as the start of the stream. Holy crap, Indiana! Oh my God! Laid a smackdown on Bama. Now laying a smackdown on Oregon.
Drivers, start your engines.
Who had Miami and Indiana in the championship game at the start of the year? Because that is, I sure didn't expect it. So, Robert Huffman's son Landon is one of the 15 drivers. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm excited about that too. The Dodge Ram show. It reminds me a lot of Driver X back in the day when Roush did that in the 2000s. So, that's really cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do that. You know, it's something new, fun, unique to do. So I'm excited to see how that show nets out and who wins it and stuff like that. So yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, that's another thing to be excited for is Ram coming into the Truck Series, right? So really, really excited about that. All right. The stars of the Super Sportsman Series are ready to go racing in the land down under here at the Calder Park Thunderdrome. Green flag, and we're underway. Here we go. 60 laps. Excuse me. Question of the Stock GT Series. Have you considered adding another track to the series? I will say that we're definitely, planning on looking into what we can do about the Stock GT schedule for sure. We got some ideas for sure. So, but that's something we're definitely looking into and seeing what can be added on, what sounds good. There's definitely some ideas, especially in the coming seasons for sure. So, Hermie Sadler out to a nice lead here. Jason Jarrett trying to get past Ron Barfield here for second. Who would win 8 championships in Thunder 03 in this timeline? Well, I guess in terms of like the best rated driver in the video game, obviously Rusty is probably the closest to it because he has 5. That's interesting to think about. So we're pretty much far into the timeline where, yeah, we're now in the era of the NASCAR Thunder games. That's honestly crazy. All right, things are settling in nice and smoothly here. Sadler, Jarrett, Barfield, Shelmerdine, Hosley, your top 5. It's funny because it's like, I've heard of Nathan Hosley before. Because in real life, he was a Roush truck driver. And, he busted, didn't do all that great, got fired mid-season. I never even heard his name said on broadcast. I always thought it was Nathan Haslew or something like that, or Haslew, right? And so I'm like, well, when I was doing the 2001 videos, you see Jason Jarrett taking the lead. As I was doing like the 2001 video, I was sitting there going, well, let me see if I can look up a broadcast where they say his name so I don't. And I heard, oh, trouble, Nathan Hosley in the wall. I was like, Hosley? Huh. Okay. So that's how you say his name? All right, well. And then I looked up, I was like, yeah, okay, that's how you say it. All right. So you learn something new every day. It's fun. That's what's fun about this project too, is you look up certain things to make you go, wow, this driver did that kind of thing. SNL's the reason I discovered these very obscure drivers ever. Yeah, I think that's awesome too. I'm happy to hear that because, like the Bubba Nissens of the world, like nobody knew about him. I didn't know about him until I did this series, and I think that's what's made this whole thing so much fun. Just rewriting racing history, but also getting to celebrate all the drivers that have come before, who are here now, and who will be here in the future. Corvette Racing, how you doing, man? How you doing? Let's see. So obviously we got Super Sportsman going on. We'll do a cup race for a second race. Obviously, one of the big things for Super Sportsman in 2001 was not just the addition of Dodge, but also the addition of Toyota. As a matter of fact, there's our first Toyota right there of Andy Houston in the 6. In terms of Kentucky, all I can say right now is stay tuned. That's all I can say right now. So, just something to stay tuned for. Let's see. So, the reason why we put Toyota in the Super Sportsman Series was because, at this point, Toyota was starting to test the waters in NASCAR, trying out the Goodies Dash series, and they still do that. But also they looked at the Super Sportsman series and said, "Oh, hey, let's try this. Let's check this out." And obviously putting in Robert Huffman was kind of a no-brainer, especially with the Toyota Celicas. So, because Toyota basically just kind of, all three Toyota cars are basically in the same team. They're just like Toyota Racing, right? So again, this is just a thing to test the waters and, get the feel of things. And, perhaps Toyota's ready to expand their presence in the coming years. So, this is just their way of getting started in NASCAR, and just trying to, jump the gun. Because obviously, like, we had Dodge come in the Truck Series in '96, and then they officially became Cup and Busch Series in 2001. So, I do have a fun idea for the second race. It kind of, one that kind of brings me back, and I'll explain that later. Well, Andy Houston's been dropping some spots, but here's Takuma Koga working his way through the field in the number 99 car. "15 laps in, and it's all Jason Jarrett and Ron Barfield currently." But yeah, as I said earlier, this past week we've really been really getting on the roll when it comes to 2002, and we made a lot of progress with silly season amongst all that. Bear down. Yes. Hi there, Jet. I'll be honest with you. I actually haven't. I actually don't have any of the games on currently, but I'll take a little look and see what's going on. Let's see. Oh wow! I was anticipating the Rams to blow the Panthers out, but the Rams won 34-31. Far out. Hey, kudos to the Panthers. Seriously, kudos to them. Wonder if Penske will ever return to the stock GT series. Never say never. It could happen. It just depends on what kind of position Penske's in and whether it's an investment they want to do or not. So I would say right now, I think they're kind of set where they are, but obviously things could change later on down the road. Let's see. I see there's questions about Sabco and all that. Obviously, stay tuned. That's something that we've been, looking at for sure with all those questions. But those questions will be answered eventually. So, can't say much on the matter, but we've been really squaring things away with silly season and getting some cars painted. So, I actually figured out how to use Blender to render cars. I found a simple scene from Stunod and basically been able to render the cars, and man, the cars look so much nicer than just putting it. I'll still use Car Viewer because obviously I use it to make sure the paint scheme lines up and stuff. I'm always constantly exporting, refreshing, just to make sure that everything looks right. And then I'm like, okay, this looks good. So maybe Rusty could bushwhack in the Stock GT series. I mean, hey, never say never. Hey, the very first NASCAR race I attended, June 2005. which I can't believe is over 20 years ago, Rusty Wallace did run that Busch race at Kentucky. So, well, handful of Cup guys did, because I know Biffle was in that race. Edwards was in that race. I'm trying to remember who else was in that race, but I could probably look it up later. The 2005 Meyer 300. Carl Edwards passed Martin Truex Jr. with 3 laps to go and won the race. That definitely solidified me more as a NASCAR fan for life. So I had so much fun that night, and it's gotten me to where I am now. So Petty does have an alliance with Sapco. Yes. Getting close to the halfway point, and again, Jarrett and Barfield have pretty much driven away from everybody. Let's take a look here. Hermie Sadler back here in third, holding his own. Almost 3 seconds back. Kurt Shelmerdine fourth, fifth is Hosley, followed by Frank Kimmel. Justin Labonte, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Travis Quaffle, Billy Venturini, Larry Foyt, and then in 12th is Takuma Koga, our highest running of the Toyota camp. Do a little run through the field here. Oh man, Ichiro Suzuki, man, what a hell of a ball player he was, seriously. Especially now that we're at a point where a lot of the guys that, we grew up with are now appearing in this timeline, so. Definitely something that's pretty exciting. Carl Edwards, rookie in 2005. You know what? I could probably... Let's see. I don't know, because I don't think Edwards was eligible. I could probably go on J-Ski and look up the 2005 driver chart, and it might list, let me see, 2005 Rookie of the Year candidates. Carl Edwards and Bobby Hamilton Jr. will not be eligible for the 2005 Rookie of the Year award. Will have run more than 7 races in a season. So yeah, Carl Edwards was not eligible. So that's what happened there. Because it says here... Now, of course, I don't know, this could be incorrect, just because this was J-Ski's thing from, 20 plus years ago. Stanton Barrett, 95, Kyle Busch in the 5, Mike Garvey, 75, Travis Quaffle, 77, Eric McClure, question mark. One of these were just drivers that, declared. And then, yeah, it says that Carl Edwards and Bobby Hamilton Jr. were not eligible, so... I feel like Nadeau proved himself by winning at Michigan. Yeah, I mean, that was a really important win for him, He was doing pretty decent. He just needed that one moment, and he got that one moment. I mean, excuse me. Hell, we got, it was like 5 first-time winners in 2001, so I mean, I think that just shows that the next generation's upon us, and, it's going to be interesting to see how they will stack up against, the likes of Earnhardt and Wallace and Kawicki and Irvin and those guys. So. Excuse me. But yeah, so I figured I'd look that up real quick for you guys there. So that's the whole spiel with Carl Edwards in 2005. Maybe his career goes on to be kind of like that one Griff Dog video about him. Yeah, you never know. I mean, I think Nadeau can have a pretty solid career. Um, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do, for sure. Because he is a kind of a what if kind of guy. Obviously, in real life, his career was cut short because of that horrible crash he had in 2003. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he does without any of those kind of concerns. Can you recognize Erasing Infinity from one quote? A little challenge. All right, he's got help. Truex is behind him. Get your cameras right. Pretty sure that's the Andretti one, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that's the Andretti one where Truex won the Brickyard 400. Definitely a sequel. I need to do a sequel of that one eventually. Because that was such an interesting one. Because that, honestly, if that had gone through, could have saved Dodge and NASCAR back then. Yeah, I mean, Kenseth and Irvin not winning was a little surprising in 2001. Oh, wait, was it Tony Toyota? Man, I don't even know my own content. That's sad. Oh, jeez. I feel awful. I apologize. Good Lord. You can make fun of me for that. It's okay. Well, looks like we got green flag pit stops. I don't know. You got to poke fun at yourself sometimes, right? Sometimes I can be forgetful of things sometimes, so I do apologize. In an alternate universe, Eric McClure, 2005 Rookie of the Year. I mean, hey, right? Anything's possible. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Because it's like there are times where I sit there and go, man, how did that guy not win a race? He did so good. But yeah, Irvin and Kenseth were a couple of notable guys who... Kenseth has not gotten his first career win yet. So that's something that's a little interesting as you see our leader, Jason Jarrett, making a pit stop there. Yeah, so that's been weird. Especially that Blaze Alexander got his first Cup win before Kenseth did, which kind of surprises me. But we'll see what happens. Epic Memer, how's it going? How long is the stream been going? How late I am? Oh, it's all right. Nothing to worry about. I'm just doing this first race. Getting close to about 20 to go. So, let's see. Yeah, you're right. It was Tony Toyota. Yeah, I think Kenseth's going to win eventually. I think he's going to win in 2002. And if he doesn't at that point, I'm just going to be sitting there puzzled like, what? And again, 2001 was so interesting. Because Tony Stewart got his first 2 wins. Casey Elliott finally broke out of his shell. He got 2 wins, including the insane Southern 500. And then, what else? Kelly Earnhardt snapped her winless streak. Bubba Nissen snapped his winless streak. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Blaze Alexander, they got their first wins. Jerry Nadeau got his first win. Definitely a unique season that was. And Paige Jones really broke out onto the scene, winning like 3 or 4 races. So, maybe Paige Jones might be a Cup champion before long. Did you see Jimmy is running in trucks in Cup at San Diego? Yeah, he's going to run for Tricon. So, I love it. Seriously, that's awesome. I'm happy for Jimmy. I hope he can do the triple header. I hope he can do all 3 if he can. So, yeah, that's the next guy I'm waiting to see break out of his shell is John Nemechek. Hendrick's been kind of rebuilding for a while, so now they're at a point where it's like, okay, let's see if they can get the ball rolling. They got a solid lineup. They got a couple of promising prospects in Ricky Hendrick and now Nathan Haslai. So, hey, sky's the limit, I think NASCAR, the Cup Series, is very competitive than it already was in real life. So, there's a lot of stars, a lot of talented drivers. sometimes not all of them can win, right? It's not easy. So I'm really excited to see how things net out in the coming seasons. I saw somebody bring up the title sponsor thing. I will not talk much about that right now, but that is something we have talked about a little bit. As kind of like thinking ahead. It doesn't hurt to think ahead. Excuse me. Paige Jones winning a championship for Bill Davis before Jeff Gordon would be surprising. Yeah, I feel like... And Jeff Gordon hasn't been bad. He's been good. Not as dominant as he was in real life, but, yeah, hopefully he gets a championship. He's really been helping Bill Davis build this program over the years. And, I feel like at some point he'll win a championship. We'll see. So it looks like Ron Barfield is actually your leader. There he is. He's got a 2.5 on Jason Jarrett. How about Frank Kimmel running in third, it looks like. That's crazy. Oh yeah, Haas CNC, yeah, they're gonna be coming soon, yeah. So I love thinking ahead of like, man, who are gonna be like the next 5 Cup champions? Who's gonna rise, who's gonna fall, who's gonna take over for what? And there's so much to look forward to in this timeline, so that's personally what I'm excited for, is that there's just so much to look forward to and so many more stories to tell and write and everything else. So I'm really excited to get this next chapter going in 2002 and see what happens. It's crazy. 2002, I started kindergarten that year in the fall of 2002, so put things into perspective. I was like 5. Yeah, imagine if Rusty could actually like win 8 titles. Obviously, he's got to win the 6th and 7th and 8th first. But yeah. That's funny. Anyway. 2007 Cup champion Alfonso Ribeiro for Haas CNC. That is cursed. At that point, maybe Frankie Muniz could be a Cup champion. Other than Davey the Disappointment, who would be called the biggest busts in SNL history? Probably Dale Jarrett. He never really panned out as a driver, but he has an opportunity to be a great owner, and his team's been pretty successful, especially in the lower circuits. The Cup team still needs to get there, but, and you hope they'll get there. An observation. Majority of drivers in this timeline are over 30 or even in their late 30s. Will that change in the coming years? Hey, I mean, a lot of young guys are starting to come into the picture. So, a lot of the older guys are going to get shuffled out here eventually as they get older, and it's time for them to, pass it on to the next generation. So, kind of like real life, you're already seeing that shift where all the young guns, right? They call it the young guns, and they're all coming in. So, if Team Supply and Joe Gibbs Racing for sure. Yeah, although, I mean, they did win a Super Sportsman title with J.D. Gibbs, so lower series-wise, they have success, but Cup, obviously, not necessarily as much. Which is crazy, because at this point, JGR was already a well-established team. So, I love seeing all these predictions, by the way. I think it's awesome. So, I love reading them. Excuse me. Will happen soon, trust. Ooh, we got a late caution. Oh man, we had a huge wreck. What in the world happened here? Oh, we're gonna have a late restart, guys. Oh man, we had a huge wreck here. Let's see what in the world happened. Okay. So it starts off with Mike Dillon getting into Jason Schuler. Dillon with the big hit. And Takuma Koga, Curtis Markham, nowhere to go. And it looks like something else. Oh, they just kind of bunched up down here. Okay. Okay, that was Jason Rudd who had some contact. Looks like he's okay, though. But, yikes. Oh, man, yeah. Nowhere to go. Insert the Wii Sports Bowling thing here. Strike! You know. Let me check for any other kinds of shenanigans, just in case, as everybody scatters back to the line. Alright, so we currently have 6 laps to go, coming to 5 to go. Okay, let's see here. Yes, this is Super Sportsman at Calder Park. Yep. I feel like at this point you almost consider Marlon a bust, considering his teammate's a 5-time champion. His other teammates are competing for wins. You know, Marlon's done pretty well in the 22. He's obviously he hasn't won a title, but he's won a lot of races. You know, he's won a Brickyard 400. He's won. See how many races did he win in 01? He won like a couple at least. Yeah, I have it pulled up here. So, yeah. Hey Daniel, how's it going, man? So yeah, I'd say Moreland's not a bust. He's doing pretty good. So, you know what? I mean, heck, he could still win a title, which would be pretty neat, right? Joey Logano being bald. Yeah, that caught me off guard. I was like, Joey, what happened to your head? Obviously, I know he's had the issues with his hair and all that, so, he did it for weight reduction and Arrow. Watch him win the title. Oh, man. People won't be happy. Let's see. Has SNL 2002 been put on hold? No. It's not on hold. Again, I kind of took a little bit of a breather during the holidays, but now I'm back in the full swing. We're working on silly season and everything else, so nothing to worry about. We're getting to work on 2002. Scott Pruitt, 2007 Busch Series champion for Haas CNC. Stuart Kirby's going to be the 2004 Busch champion. I'm just kidding. Oh, man. So, let's see. We'll have a 3-lap dash to the finish. It's going to be Barfield versus Jarrett. So, this is Jason Jarrett's chance if he wants to win this race. I know this is cursed. I mean, there's plenty of cursed stuff already in this timeline, and that's the fun of it. So, I kind of laugh when people will be like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I love starting off with, yes, Shauna Robinson and Patty Moyes are, yeah. Here we go. 3 laps to go here in Australia. Jason Jarrett jumps to the outside here on the restart. He's not wasting any time, but I don't know if that outside line is going to work for him, but we'll have to wait and see. He's going to try and make it stick. Not at all. Barfield's able to pull away. In this timeline, Frankie Muniz becomes an IndyCar star after acting. 2012 Indy 500 winner. Baldy's Basics. Oh, gosh. Two laps to go. It's Barfield versus Jason Jarrett. One of the main cover stars of the hit video game, Jared Labonte Stock Car Racing. Yeah. Well, Jason Jarrett has a chance here, coming to the white flag. Final lap here at Calder Park, here in Melbourne. Jason Jarrett all over the back of Ron Barfield. He's going to have to make the move here. Down the backstretch. Can Jarrett make the move? It looks like he won't as they head into turn 3. Through turns 3 and 4, here they come. Checkered flag. Jarrett looks to the inside, not going to get there. Ron Barfield hangs on for the win. Jarrett just ran out of time. I thought he was going to make the move there coming to the line, but was not able to make the pass. Muniz almost drove in Toyota Atlantic, so it wasn't impossible. Yeah, I mean, and I'm excited to see that he's back. I'm excited to see that he's back racing again this year, so I'm looking forward to that for sure. And there's your final results there. Ron Barfield Jr. is your... can't speak today. He's your winner. Jason Jarrett second. Bobby Hamilton Jr. third. Frank Kimmel fourth. Billy Venturini fifth. Nathan Hosley sixth. Travis Quaffle in seventh. Justin Labonte eighth. Kirk Shelmerdine ninth. Jeff Purvis in 10th. That's your top 10. In this universe, it'd be Irvin and Hendrick Stock Car Racing, referring to Jared Irvin and Ricky Hendrick. Jarrett and Labonte Stock Car Racing. Would be so cool to do Racing Infinity set in like the 50s, 60s, or 70s. That could be fun to look into at some point if there's an idea for it. And you know, Jason Jarrett, he's been doing pretty solid down as Super Sportsman. You know, he's had some wins. He's been in contention for titles, so he's done all right for himself here. I'll show the rest of the results here. Of course, a few cars ended up crashing out. Jason Rudd, Takuma Koga, Jason Schuler, Curtis Markham. Of course, that was a late wreck there to set things up for an exciting finish, because sometimes that just happens. That's just part of racing. So, what can you do? What if Joe Weatherly survived or never had his crash? Fireball River. Yeah. It's definitely something fun to take a look at probably at some point, for sure. So, will the Malcolm in the Middle reboot reference Malcolm's time as a race car driver? That'd be cool. Yeah, I would say Jarrett and Labonte are definitely having better careers. Racing Infinity idea. Dale Earnhardt and Junior Johnson. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's certainly a fun one for sure that we could potentially do down the road. So, let me get some stuff taken care of here, and we'll go from there. Let's see. Okay, so let me get stuff set up for the next race. Oh yeah, Malcolm in the Middle was definitely a great show. I'm excited to see how how Frankie does this year in the Truck Series. And I know he's going to be doing some sports car stuff too. So, just kind of going through all these cars here. Okay. Oh, yeah. Do that. Okay, cool. There we go. Cool. There we go. All right. So yeah, like I said before, I know I kind of been repeating myself, but I know some people kind of come in and out. So we've been making a lot of good progress. Most of the silly season's been taken care of. Now we're just painting cars. I painted a couple of cars after work today. So a couple Busch Series cars, they came out really good. So just putting the final pieces together, and hopefully before long we'll get some races going. So I wanted to do a stream just to kick off the new year and just update you guys on what's going on. So we're on track to get 2002 rolling here. So again, I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a great season coming up. There's definitely a lot of excitement for sure going into this season. A lot of stories, as always. Still figuring out what the next Racing Infinity is going to be. So, again, stay tuned for the first teasers and the announcements for that. Hopefully to get started on that this weekend as well. So, hope you guys are enjoying your weekends so far. I admit, Saturdays are my 4:30 to 12:30, 4:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. shift. So, I've been up since 3:30 this morning. So, it is what it is. I'll get plenty of rest tonight. But anyway, we're going to do the Cup Series next. And this track was made by, I want to give this individual a shout out. Give me a second here to get all this squared away. How long do I want to make this race? Predictions for Monday's format announcement. As I said before, I'm trying to, when it comes to the streams, I want to steer clear of just making things about opinions. But regardless of what it is, I'm looking forward to it. I'm willing to give it a chance. I guess, if anything, I feel like it'll be the chase, and I'm cool with that. That's fine. I'm just looking forward to the season, and looking forward to seeing how things go. Recovering from a bout of sickness. Sorry to hear that, Starlight Alchemist. I hope you feel better. I've been battling allergies myself, so dealing with a sore throat, stuffed up nose, the whole 9 yards. You know how it is. So, Jason Jarrett, the cover athlete from a rally car game made by people who will make Formula One games, not EA. Hello there, cease and desist from Tokar. Yes, I have followed along with Tokar stuff. So, I had a brain fart. What was I gonna do? Have there been any Racing Infinity ideas that were rejected or put in SNL? There was an early one that we wanted to do, and maybe we'll try it again at some point. But we wanted to do the Cup Series at the Daytona, Supercross track or whatever, but the AI really wasn't responding well to it, so we kind of just had to say, okay, let's do something else. Okay, I didn't realize you were cease and desist in that. That's funny. Maybe one of these days I should look into signing up a driver there. Maybe I come up with a funny name like Richard Richardson or something like that. Just something goofy. Top 5 worst experiences. Well, I can think of something worse. Have you ever dealt with ingrown toenails? Those are the worst. Anyway, he might not end up racing due to copyright avoidance. Smiling Friends. Smiling Friends. I love that show. Like I said, I used to watch the creators' YouTube videos back in the day and stuff like that. And of course, I watch him on Oni Plays from time to time. Zach Hadel. I wouldn't mind the chase coming back. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the best of both worlds. Like I said, let's just see what happens. Give it a chance and see what happens. So if you ever get in a tow car, I'd glad to invite you to Lucky Sevens. Okay, deal. Let's see. I was gonna look something up real quick, and then I had a massive brain fart. I hate it when that happens. Anyway, he is Scott Speed, but he's actually fast. I guess I never really got around to doing another World Grand Prix. I want to at some point, just never really got around to it. But I thought when I did it was pretty fun because it's kind of funny because I didn't even know much about Shane Van Gisbergen, and then I'm like, oh, he's running the Chicago race. He was in the World Grand Prix thing. Oh my God, he won! And then the rest is history. So I kind of laughed when looking back at that. Did you know Dave and Random Shy were in Tow Car too? I did not actually. That's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, I try to follow along with Tow Car from time to time, and it's so goofy. Okay. Let me explain the next race. So we're gonna do Cup on a super speedway, but let me tell you a story. So, 2006, Memorial Day weekend, 2006. Me, my dad, my brother, and one of my uncles, we trekked from Louisville, Kentucky, to Charlotte, North Carolina, and we went to the Coca-Cola 600 weekend. This was also the same weekend that Cars was premiering. I remember they had the life-size replica of Lightning McQueen and Sally and Mater and all that. You were going to give a shout out to a track designer. Thank you. God. Okay. Anyway, so everything bagels, Georgia. Okay. Nice. So, I went to the 2006 Coca-Cola 600, both the Busch and Cup race. The Busch race, we sat on the front stretch. We actually stayed in Winston-Salem in a hotel, and then we went to the Busch race. I saw Tony Stewart spit out right in front of me. My dad said he nearly pissed himself when that happened. But yeah, Cars was being promoted, and then right after we got back, I ended up seeing the first movie in theaters. So, that was a cool weekend. So, let's see. But yeah, we went to the 600. Casey Kane won that race. But basically, before we went back, we went to the DEI Dale Earnhardt Incorporated Museum. And I remember, at the end of the journey, at the end of the tour and everything else, we were in the gift shop. We got, I remember we got a couple of lug nuts that came from one of Dale Earnhardt's cars. They're back in my dad's place. I know where they are. And I got a CD-ROM copy of a game called Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Super Snack 500, which was basically a demo of NR 2003. So I was exposed to NR as early as 2006. Now, of course, I really didn't get as familiar with it until a few years later. But I always kind of played... I played the demo so much as a kid, even though I was racing with like 3 other cars. So, because of that, I thought it would be fun to throw it back. Someone by the name of Thugs Rook made the Nabisco Super Snack Speedway, which is just a clone of the Coca-Cola Papyrus Speedway. So, yep. Here she is. I'll do 42 laps. I hope 97's a good difficulty. As long as, half the field doesn't wreck in the first 2 laps. Probably should have tested it. I'm assuming it'll run just like Coca-Cola, so... yeah, okay. Casey Kane swept the... Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, he did. Hamlin used NR 2003. I do remember that. Yeah, Hamlin, he thanked NR 2003 for... And it's kind of crazy, because, that was iRacing before iRacing, because the folks that were at Papyrus, the leftovers, pretty much created iRacing.
Drivers, to your cars.
The souls of Langhorne Speedway going over the track. Ricky Rudd and Chad Little. That's quite a front row. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to do a little throwback because I was looking for tracks and I saw this and I was like, oh, no way. So This track has been ported using Enter 2003 assets, set up and tweaked for plate racing. Itself is Coca-Cola done with a different sponsorship. So shout out to Thugs Rook. It's on Stunod. If you guys want to play with this track yourselves. So how about that? All right. Yeah, Scott Riggs was on the pole. I remember that, yeah. That was 06. I did Atlanta in the spring, and then we did Charlotte. Of course, Atlanta, I actually never got to see the cup race because it rained. And my dad felt bad because I had to go back to school, But, on the way back, was like, you know what? We'll stop in Chattanooga. We'll check out the Tennessee Aquarium and be on our way. I'd like to visit Chattanooga again. That's a nice area. But yeah, Ricky Rudd on the pole, Chad Little next to him, Paige Jones, Patty Moyes, Rusty Wallace, Kenny Brack. Nice Enter 2003 history lesson. So yeah, that's a little bit of Grace Speed lore for you guys too. Casey Elliott, Rob Moroso, Alan Kawicki, Ernie Irvin, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon. How funny is that? Another pair of teammates. Well, I mentioned that because we had Kawicki and Irvin. Teammates in another timeline, and then teammates again in Martin and Steele. Then we got Petty and Davey Allison, John Nemechek and Alan Sir Jr. Tammy Jo Kirk, Shauna Robinson, Tony Stewart, Blaze Alexander, Dale Jr., Bobby Hamilton, Dale Sr., Bill Elliott. Good. Rick Mass, Kelly Williams, Jeff Green, Sterling Marlin, Kelly Earnhardt, Jerry Nadeau, Jeremy Mayfield, Bubba Nissen, Terry Labonte, Tommy Kendall, Matt Kenseth, Ken Schrader, Wally Dallenbach, Joe Nemechek, Kenny Wallace, Todd Bodine. Okay. John Andretti was basically in the 9, kind of a thing where Everett Ham and Bill Elliott probably just made an agreement for, since Andretti did really well in Busch, to just have him do a one-off basically and stuff like that. So that's basically what happened there. Oh, bro, I never hit play. What the heck? There we go.
Drivers, to your cars.
So yeah, that's why John Andretti was in the 9. Yeah, unfortunately, Rick Mass hasn't had much to write home about in the Cup Series, but again, that's just what happens sometimes when you do stuff like this. So, glad to see even you having trouble keeping up with your own timeline. I mean, so much has happened that I have to remind myself.
Drivers, start your engines.
My brain's a little fried, but you get my point. I've been to Chattanooga twice. Nice. I've driven through there. It's a beautiful area. Actually, I've been to see the Choo Choo. I have not seen the Choo Choo. I'd like to see it. I want to see Rock City too. The whole C7 states thing. So that'd be cool. Rick Mast? Yeah, 1994. So yeah. It is Coca-Cola Speedway, but this is actually the Nabisco version from the Dale Jr.'s Nabisco Super Snack 500 demo. So, as I said, I got this. I think I was handed this out the door. I think they were just handing them out. So, and my dad's like, "Oh, cool! This is gonna be a fun game for you to play on the computer." So I was like, "Okay," and then I got it installed, and I'm like, "Oh, this is so cool!" I remember as a kid, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to control my car under the pace laps? That's crazy." Chattanooga Choo Choo joke. Oh, did you mean to say Oh, I see. You saw the choo-choo tutu. Okay, I get it. I think that's what you meant anyway. Excuse me. Yeah, Rock City, Ruby Falls, and Chattanooga is just a beautiful area. Tennessee River, and the Tennessee River Valley, and all that. So we've driven through that coming back through Daytona. We've driven through there before. Tow car incident incoming. Probably. We'll see what happens. Here we go. Let's go snacking or racing. I don't know. Here we go. From the Nabisco Super Speedway, we are racing. 42 laps. I've simulated a bunch of NR 2003 recently. Buddy Arrington won the 1979 Firecracker 400. Nice. I recently got NR again like 2 months ago. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Oh, Film and Art. I know what you're talking about. Oh, God. Alright, Paige Jones to the front. I expect a lot of 3-wide action for this one. 42 laps. Should give us plenty of racing action here. And Paige Jones leads lap number 1. Alan Kowicki looks to the inside. Somebody gonna get massive Chris today. I laugh at some of the names you guys come up with, I swear. Oh, excuse me. Hope no one gets a black flag. Oh, man. They're showing us the black flag. Jimmy Johnson up to third. Alan Kowicki settles in the second. Coming back to complete lap 2. Paige Jones still leads the way, but Kowicki looks to the inside. NR 2003 seems to like making random drivers go to just for gets and shiggles. Hey, I mean, I'm all for it. It makes it more fun and interesting. I heard tow cars being mentioned. Ooh, somebody's down low in the apron. What's going on there? Jeff Gordon and Terry Labonte. Oh, no! Here we go! Crash! Crash on the backstretch. Shauna Robinson over on her roof. Well, that didn't take too long now, did it? And she goes, her car does some acrobatics, some gymnastics. Training for the 2004 Athens Olympics, I guess. I want to know what in the world happened to Jeff Gordon and Terry Labonte. Okay, they just shoved themselves down there and then they rejoined the track, LePaging the field, essentially. That was not going to work. Jeff Gordon gets into Ken Schrader. And Kenny Wallace, nowhere to go. Slams into Shauna Robinson. She goes flipping. Don't worry, everybody's okay. Unfortunately, that Kmart Pontiac is pretty beat up. It's in as much trouble as the company. Oh, goodness gracious. Ryan Priest soft flip. Whoops, not one of the best decisions by Jeff Gordon here. Whoops, you forgot to put the CD, Warning, you might get a little dizzy. How would you like to see this happening in front of you? Thanks, Mike Skinner. Any other wrecks happen, or did we just scatter? I hope we just scattered. Oh, no. I think something else happened. Oh, Mother of God, something else did happen. Oh, come on. Looks like Junior got into Casey Elliott, and Jimmy goes around. Alonso Jr. goes spinning. Nobody hits the pit road wall. Oh, man. Hard hit. Man, Ricky Rudd. What was that one quote from Glenn in Talladega Nights? Peaches and cream. Well, this was bound to happen. Alonso Jr. almost did a Phil Menard. Yeah, I guess, hey, you know. Well, I'm glad there was no Phil Menard kind of incident here, and just a couple of hard hits there. Oh, man, Ricky Rudd got a little bit of airtime. Oh, man. The 12 got spun because someone shoved the 0-1 into him. 0-1 is done for the day. Alright, no more of that nonsense. Alright, looks like we did have some pit stops. I don't know how many cars are left. Find out. Casey Elliott rejoins the track. Chad Little, Jeff Gordon are on pit road. Looks like Dale Earnhardt will have the lead. Mike and Ike Candy. Oreo. Have you guys had the Reese's Oreos? Like the cookies? I thought those were pretty good. Chad is in the 17? Yeah, Chad Little. Yeah. Did I say somebody else? Getting my timelines mixed up. The spotter will still ask Shauna if she is alright. Oh, yeah. You alright? I know there's names like Young Stroker the Body Snatcher, I think was one of them. I fear they don't sell Reese's in Brazil, at least I don't think in where I live. Really? Oh, interesting. Yeah, it was just Oreo cookies, but the filling was like Reese's flavored. You did say Chad Little and the 117. Okay. Sometimes I get worried, like, did I say that, driver? I didn't mean to say that. I hate that name. Turn my fan on here. There we go. So we had two separate incidents there, and 3-4 laps in, so not even 6-7 laps in. What the heck? I'm gonna get beaten up for that, aren't I? I swear, you can't escape it. Dubai Snatcher is a fraud. The broadcast for this race would need a not involved in wreck graphic. Probably. That Sony car is the same colors as my tow car race car. Nice. NASCAR did Australia, Japan, and Brazil. Which country will be next? Well, stay tuned. Do not submit to brain rot. Yeah, exactly. Get out! I agree. Sorry that my volume peaked at all. Dude, I kid you not. On New Year's Eve, I went to the Cincinnati Cyclones hockey game. You will not believe how many kids. I feel like a boomer saying this, and I'm 29 now. You won't believe how many kids I saw do the freaking 6-7 motion with the hands, you know. And I'm like, oh dear God. Even like the MC was doing it at times. I'm like, bruh, why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? So, that was a crazy game. The Cyclones ended up coming back and winning in overtime over the Indy Fuel. That's who they beat. The ECHL. So, but yeah, the possibilities are the sky's the limit, you know, on what the next international exhibition could be and all that. So, it's a 3 Masato. Like I said, I think my idea for a driver would probably be something like Richard Richardson or something like that. I got it from a channel called Cold Ones because they were doing like some sort of making like a parody advertisement. Like they were requesting stuff on like Fiverr or something like that, just for the lulz. And it was like Richard and Richardson's law firm or something like that. I just thought it was really funny. Named after racing fuel. I would assume so, you know, just to have a racing theme to it. I'm only 22 and I hate the 6-7 thing. We are all sick of it. Something great meme reset. Yes, that's right. I'll fix that. We are number one. Hey, is that better? It somehow flopped. Apparently, Italian brain rot is somehow funnier than these nuts. Man. I'm 21 and I'm constantly bouncing between feeling like a boomer, feeling like a team who time traveled a decade into the future. I mean, like I said, I'm 29, so I guess I've reached unk status at this point. Those memes are not funny anymore. Well, I think they are to some, especially if they referenced in passing. You won't believe how many times Saturday mornings when I'm switching the news at work, and me and the director are constantly quoting memes. When is the pace car going to leave? We're getting back to racing this time. It takes 2.5 minutes to do a pace lap. It's a 3-mile long circuit, so I think that's the problem there. Okay, how many cars are left? Okay, there's 31 cars on the lead lap, 33 total. Okay, not as bad as I thought. But I'd rather be unk than mainstream. How do you do, fellow kids? How's it feel to be stung by 40,000 bees? Oh, God. Why don't we have a day where we look back on old memes? I feel like that would be better. That could be fun. Apparently 30 is unk status. Well, I guess I'm screwed in December. Anyway, I'm kidding. Oh, that's right. Wyatt Wilkinson, that's right. What track is this? So, it is technically Coca-Cola Speedway or Papyrus Super Speedway or whatever. Or if you're on iRacing Super Speedway. But this is the Nabisco version. There was a demo of NR 2003 called Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Nabisco Super Snack 500. And this was the track that was on it. But the track was, of course, textured to have all the Nabisco stuff on it instead of Coca-Cola. So, this was a game that I got back in 2006, visiting the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated Museum. So I thought it would just be a fun way to pay homage to that and throw back to it. So, I have a co-worker who sort of embodies that. He's chill and always wears a baseball cap. I'm pretty sure he's older than my parents. Steve Buscemi's the only person who can do the fellow kids thing and have it be funny and not creepy. Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. Played Starscream in Transformers 1. Yeah. Well, we got a 3 wide battle here. Dale Earnhardt, Alan Kowicki, Sterling Marlin. Marlin looking to pass Earnhardt here. Hopefully we can get some action going here. Megatron has fallen. Alexa, play New Divide by Linkin Park. I've been to the DEI Museum. Nice. Like I said, I went in 06 way back when it was like Dale Jr., Truex, and Menard. So, do you happen to work with Fred Durst? Yeah! Chocolate starfish! Keep on rolling, baby! If you've seen my Instagram, when I make the Instagram posts regarding, you know, when I'm doing streams and SNL stuff and all that, especially with Sunday Night Lights, I love that there's a feature to play music for the posts now. So I've been using songs that match up to the year. So like 2000, I used In the End and Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, and then, you know, 2001, I did Wish You Were Here by Incubus and My Way by Limp Bizkit, and, you know, 2002, same thing there. So it's just fun to do stuff like that. I saw Linkin Park in concert back in August in St. Louis with my dad. I had never gotten to see Chester and Linkin Park, so that was a fun and admittedly emotional night for me, but that was a lot of fun. I remember because it was the same night as the 4-wide photo finish at Daytona, because I remember getting in line afterwards for Linkin Park merch, and I looked at my phone, I went, what happened? I was like, oh my god. I was like, you know what though, I saw Linkin Park, and I'm happy. And I hope I get to see them again in the near future. So, that meant a lot. Incubus mentioned. Yes. Of course, System of a Down and stuff like that. Because I admit, I'm a sucker for nu metal. Like late 90s, early 2000s. I have a rock Spotify playlist that has a bunch of those songs on there. Starlight, those are some pretty good choices right there. Linkin Park is so peak. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the fact back in 2023, when they released Lost, you know, a song they had kept away for 20 years was just... And the fact that Mike Shinoda explained that they already had a song for Meteora with the same energy, which was Numb. And I'm thinking to myself, could you imagine an alternate timeline where Lost became one of the songs that defined a generation and Numb came out a few years ago? Gosh, that'd be crazy. My music taste is still all over the place. I feel you. Yeah, I'll listen to Linkin Park. I'll listen to EDM. You know, that's just how I am. When was Dale's last win in SNL? Spring of 2001. He won at Bristol. That's his most recent win. And just about right when he turned 50. Been listening to Incubus and Chevelle a lot lately. Nice. Let's see, who else is there? 3 Days Grace. I've actually been finding songs that came out, like new metal songs that have come out in like 2025, 2024 even. So there's still new metal bands out there, which I think is awesome. Have you ever been to the RCR Museum? I have not. But that's certainly, whenever I get the chance to get back to Charlotte, that's something that could be on the list for sure. You should listen to Sabaton. I have seen Sabaton twice live. Yes, so those of you that don't know, Sabaton is a metal band from Sweden And yes, their songs are about historical events. It's like a big history lesson. Art of War is probably one of my favorites. I saw them live back in 2015. They were with Delane and Nightwish. That was in Louisville. And then I saw them again here in Cincy just a few years ago, right after they had opened the Andrew J. Brady Music Center downtown. So that was a fun night. Yeah, Sabaton's an awesome band, for sure. Nightwish, I always enjoy Nightwish. Bubba Nissen going down the pit road there. Nightwish is kind of a symphonic metal band from Finland. I actually have met the band Nightwish before, because I saw them live in 2016 in Detroit, or near Detroit, because my dad got us, me and my cousin, VIP tickets, so I got to meet the group. And let's see, I saw Delane that night too, as well as Sonata Arctica. Fun fact, I got a drumstick from the drummer that night. It's at my dad's place. And I learned later it's because I was wearing a St. Louis, my trademark St. Louis Blues hoodie at the time. And he's a big hockey fan. So, going to see them for the second time this year in Cincy. Sabaton's going to be back in Cincy? I got to look this up. I know I need to be commentating the race here, but I do enjoy talking to you guys. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. Tim Steele, Alan Kawicki fighting for the lead. Oh my god, yeah. March 7th? Okay, nice. I didn't realize that. Okay. How about that? Yeah, Sabaton, they are a fun group of guys. It's like Jeff Gordon's about to go a lap down here. Wish I could find more people listening to Chevelle. Certainly. Let me see what else is there. Excuse me. Some songs I love are Out of Control by Hoobastank, Super Beast by Rob Zombie. Love me some Rob Zombie. So yeah, we got some green flag pit stops taking place here. Excuse me, hiccups. Action by Powerman 9000, yeah. Bombshell by Powerman 9000, that's a good one. I've actually been I've listened to a few songs from White Zombie, which was the band that Rob Zombie was the lead singer of before he became Rob Zombie. What was the song I listened to recently? Welcome to Planet MF. It was because I was watching clips from Beavis and Butthead. And Beavis and Butthead is actually a massive reason why Rob Zombie got big to begin with. Funny enough, Rob Zombie, I know, helped out with that one scene in the Do America movie, which I didn't realize came out on the same day I was born, so that's kind of funny. Alan Kawicki makes his way down pit road. No problems, no problems. Don't hit the pit road wall. Good, alright. No problems, no problems. Things have been clean since the craziness we had on lap 3. Yeah, I want to start seeing some of the bands that I grew up with. Like, I saw Fall Out Boy a couple years ago. I just saw Linkin Park recently. I need to see Breaking Benjamin. I need to see 3 Days Grace. Seeing Skillet would be pretty cool. Hopefully someday maybe I'll see Limp Bizkit or System of a Down or Korn even. I feel like Korn, that could be a fun show. Massive Chris. Oh gosh. Yeah, I think it did. Let me check here. Beavis and Butthead Do America. Yeah. Release dates, United States, December 20th, 1996. That's the day I was born. Which I didn't even realize. I was like, oh my god, no way. I am Cornholio, you know. Everybody's still trying to get up to speed here. Dadgum. Alright, let's see. All the drivers are fine, don't worry. This is a mock race after all. Okay, so I think everyone's going to have to pit again. If we go green the rest of the way, I think everybody's going to have to pit again with probably under 10 to go. It's my best guess. We'll see. But yeah. Yeah, the hallucination sequence's design and animation was based on the works of Rob Zombie. Yeah. Hope we see some movie-related schemes. Oh, the SpongeBob movie? Yeah, probably. I'd say there's a good chance of it for sure. Who's the leader? Let me see here. Who is the leader? Well, right now it seems to be Joe Nemechek, but he's coming off pit road right now, so... it might be Tim Steele after all this. Oh, wow, that is not going good for the Bears. Okay. That's a shame. Okay. So I think Tim Steele should have the lead here. Next time around, it will be 20 laps to go. We're currently at 21 to go. Super excited for IndyCar this season. So many storylines. Arlington, return to Phoenix, Powerhead, Andretti, Mick, possible Penske rebound, Polo domination. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to it. Should be fun. We'll see what 2026 brings. Definitely looking forward to that Arlington race. I'm also looking forward to the trucks at St. Petersburg. That's going to be a lot of fun. Dale Earnhardt to the inside of John Nemechek. Doesn't really have much help, though. John Nemechek instead is going to go right in front of Earnhardt. Earnhardt goes up high now. Nemechek wants the lead from Tim Steele, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, I hope Pato O'Ward wins the Indy 500 as well. I feel like at some point he's gonna win it. You know, like you said, he's come so close so many times. I thought he was gonna win it in 24, and Newgarden got him on the last lap. Oh, if Elio got his fifth, oh man, that would be something special. I would love to see that. Yeah, Nemechek and Steele are definitely a couple guys who need to find their way to victory lane here at some point. AJ Floyd won the 8,500 points. Count ownership wins. He wouldn't have 5 until 1999. Can't speak. Now you got Steele versus Earnhardt. Thoughts on Rusty Wallace and Fork of the Road 2004? I mean, you know, it could be setting. Who knows? Maybe it's predicting the future for SNL. I kind of laugh because it's like, oh man, I feel like it trickled into Fork in the Road now. Rusty is inevitable, you know. Oh man. Excuse me. Can't wait for San Diego. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward. Excuse me. I'm definitely looking forward to San Diego for sure. John Nemechek out in front. It's like that's Tommy Kendall in second. Yep. They're approaching a lapped car there of Casey Elliott, who of course was in one of those wrecks earlier. Ugh. Could Kyle win in 2002? I think he could. You know, it's one of those things where you never know. He certainly looked impressive in his truck starts for sure, so I don't know. Anything's possible. Taking a look up front here. Tommy Kendall's still leading the way. Tony Stewart looking to get around John Nemechek. Yeah, Ron Fellows, he's definitely had a ton of success in Fork in the Road. Very impressed. Dixon is 45 and on his longest title drought. Feels like he is running out of time, especially with Palou dominating. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to stop Palou, man. That's going to be the big question is can anybody stop him? Will Harvick be in Cup in the foreseeable future? Yeah, it's possible, you know. I think he's definitely on track. You know, I don't know when, but I think he's probably on track to do so. Oh, no. Oh, no. Big crash in the front. Oh, goodness. What in the world just happened? Oh, what happened here? Oh, I think Dale got into his... Looks like Jeff Green got sandwiched between Dale and Tommy Kendall. And that's kind of what caused all that. Oh, nobody hit the 31, please. Oh, okay. That's a teammate. Exactly. Well, unexpected chaos here late. Make sure nothing else crazy happens. Unfortunately, I think Jeff Green's just stuck where he is. So it looks like Tony Stewart will have the lead coming back to the start-finish line. And Bill Elliott will be second. Yeah, Shauna's at Penske and Fork in the Road. That's pretty cool. I hope she gets a win there. That'd be awesome. Jeff Green won the 2005 Daytona 500 for Petty. Oh, wow. Well, I expect everyone's probably going to pit at this point. Fittipaldi winning the 500? That's crazy. For Andy Petrie? Oh, wow. Shauna came close to winning in Michigan. That is true. She did come very close. Which, man, if how ironic if that would have happened, because Michigan's where it all started with Patty Moyes. So, that would have been something. Well, time for some long pace laps here. I hope Shauna wins in Fork in the Road. Yeah, I hope she does too. Yeah, and of course, it's going to be more interesting to see if we have any upcoming female superstars, in the future for NASCAR in this timeline. That's something to definitely look forward to. How you guys were even able to edit the Atlanta, you guys using SNL. At first I had a hard time trying to get it to open in Sandbox, but I think I ended up making sure all the track mat and unpack stuff were all together in the same folder, and then I finally got it to open. So it's been fun with in this timeline. We're still racing at the older configuration for Atlanta. Plus, it just gives more diversity in tracks and stuff like that. So. Two more female drivers in my other upcoming series. Gear Shift is on long-term hiatus due to other projects and IRL taking precedent. Fair enough. Okay. But yeah, I think that's what I did. Sandbox can be tricky at times. It's one of those things where you just kind of have to sit down and kind of play around with things and figure out. But once you do, it works out. So. I've been doing some visual updates for some tracks as well. I'll say that as much. So, for when it comes to Sunday Night Lights. So it looks like Paige Jones will have the lead. 11 laps to go coming to the line. I suspect we're probably going to have at least a couple more pace laps, probably. Phoenix Road Course has the next two logos. Yeah, I apologize for that. Not everything's perfect, but the Lime Rock I use is from 2013, I think. So, have you guys been planning to update the camera files in Talladega and SoCal? That's something that we still need to look into for sure and figure out how that all works. So, that's definitely on the list for sure. I do plan to get back to Gear Shift someday, but I might end up re-simming all races between Daytona and Talladega. Yeah, I mean, whatever's best for you, of course. I just sit here and I think to myself, wow, we've gotten through over 20 seasons of this alternate timeline. What's the name of the lime rock you guys use? Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can. I want to make sure I pick out the right one because there's like different versions of it. So Lime Rock, yeah, Lime Rock 2013 BHALMS. So that's Lime Rock 2013 BHALMS. That's the one I use. It should be on that NR 2003 Weebly site that has all the tracks. Should be on there. And that's the other tough part is some tracks have, you know, some of the LP files or the INI files aren't great. I remember having an issue with an older Daytona early on in the timeline. I did make a night version of the Talladega Motorsports Park track. You know, could come in handy at some point. So, is Paige Jones related to PJ Jones? Yes, yes, they are. They are related, and not only that. Let's see. Yep. So PJ Jones is the son of Parnelli Jones. His brother is Paige Jones. And he has a son named Jagger Jones. So there's a little fun piece of history for you there. Was the issue the Highline always hitting the wall off 2 and 4? Well, with the older Daytona, there was this weird glitch. Like, if a car was slow on the apron on the backstretch, then suddenly all the cars would just start spinning out one by one by one by one for some reason. And after a while, I was like, okay, I got to change something. PJ and Paige are brothers? Yes, they are. Yep. PJ Jones, he's racing in Stock GT. Yeah. And he won a couple races in 2001. So, PJ's doing all right for himself. All right, so we are coming to the green. Yeah, I had to excuse the 1984 500 incident as the pop-up rain shower. Yeah. Not one of my proudest moments, but I did like that Mike Alexander just drove through that like a badass. I was like, I can't ignore that. That was pretty cool. Flat out through the grass. Yeah, Mike Alexander. That was it. Jagger Jones made a few NXTs. Yeah, that's right. I've heard the name I know Jagger Jones. I've heard that name before. What is he up to now, honestly? Because I know he was doing some Pro Series races. Is he doing anything right now? Okay, to 2025, he was in the MX5 Cup. Okay. Is it always sunny when you do races? When I do the replays, I think the weather's always the same, but when you do the races live, the weather is different. It might be cloudy or stuff like that, but yeah. Mike Alexander's the dad of Blaze. Is he? Let me see here. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. After his 1990, let me look at Blaze Alexander. After his 1995 move to North Carolina, Blaze Alexander enjoyed a close friendship with fellow Busch rookie driver and eventual NASCAR superstar Jimmy Johnson as they competed against each other on the track while supporting each other off of it. Other close relations included, I'm assuming that Jimmy Spencer, who served as mentor, and IndyCar driver P.J. Jones. Huh. Yeah, Blaze and Mike Alexander are not related. So, there's our Daytona 500 champ Bubba Nissen taking the lead here in the closing stages. Tony Stewart wants the lead, however. So he looks to the inside as they head down the backstretch. Stewart with the lead. Talladega lost weight. Yeah, I guess you could say it did, didn't it? Oh, pace car's back out. What in the world? What happened? Uh-oh. Looks like Tommy Kendall gets into Joe Nemechek, taking Jeff Green with him. Oh, Tammy Jo Kirk caught in the midst of it. You know, Bruno, I was thinking about making that joke, but I wasn't sure. Talladega took some Ozempic. Jimmy Mayfield got a piece of that, but he's going to be okay. Looks like nothing else happens here. But we got another caution here, so I think we should have enough time for a late restart. Well, what can you do if you're Jeff Green? Involved in 2 wrecks now. Tough break for our champion. I'm still disappointed they didn't rename Massive Chris to Microsoft Chris. Something happened to the 8 and 51 cars by any chance? Or were they just coming off? Oh, they were coming off pit road. Well, ain't that fun? Well, so let's see. Where does this put us at? So I think we're going to have 6 to go at the line. I hope we should have another restart. We should. Smoke and AK have been the 2 best cars. Yeah. They've been up there. They've, for the most part, missed the trouble. Although, Alan Kawicki got a bit of the, not this one, but the caution before. Just gotta play the waiting game now. Well, I guess while we're sitting here under caution, if you guys have any more questions regarding, Racing Infinity or Sunday Night Lights, just feel free to let me know. Fun story. After a night out with friends, I was so drunk that the next morning I found out I had ordered up to 200 NASCAR diecasts off eBay. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I haven't done anything crazy like that. I've never gotten drunk before. I mean, I rarely drink. I'll do like 1 drink on an occasion, but that's pretty much it. But like, that's crazy. Celebrity Motorsports left Pontiac for Dodge and picked up Kenny Wallace so he can do Kenny Wallace things. So coming back to the line, it will be 5 to go. The next restart will definitely be for the race at this point. There are car dealerships with the Blaze Alexander name in my region. I was reading that, yeah, that says there are quite a few Blaze Alexander automotive dealerships in central Pennsylvania originally created from his family. I didn't know that. That's really cool. And of course, another thing I always loved is, even to this day, all of Jimmy Johnson's cars will have the Blaze Alexander decal on the front. I've always loved that. I remember seeing his car last year. I'm like, I think I saw it through the garage, and I was like, my God, that sticker is still on his car to this day. That is awesome. That's another thing that will excite me in this timeline. I'm excited to see Jimmy and Blaze race together in Cup eventually. And I hope that, they get to race each other for many years to come. I kind of hope that at some point they get to fight for a championship together. I think that could be really cool. That would be a heck of a story anyway. But yeah, we got a couple ideas for the next Racing Infinity. We'll square that away here this weekend and get to work on that, so... Yeah, I didn't realize there were Blaze Alexander dealerships. Talking about the decal. I know when I went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, the Jimmy Johnson car on display out front had that sticker on there. Let's see, I think this is his 2024 car. I'm grabbing my 2024 Caravana Jimmy Johnson diecast. Jimmy and Blaze will do amazing things in Cup and SNL for sure. Absolutely. The Tale of Two Friends. Kind of like Zilich and Jesse Love today. Or Blaney and Bubba. I think it'd be cool if Jimmy and Blaze end up retiring together. Yeah, that'd be bittersweet. Obviously, that's something we don't have to worry about for a while. Their careers are just getting started, Let's see here. Alright, this is his 2024. I don't know if it'll be added on here, but it'd be really cool if it was. I guess I have to take the car out of this thing. Hold on. No. That's okay. It was just out of curiosity. I was looking at the... Do I have a diecast of his 2025 Daytona 500 car? Because if not, I should probably get my hands on one. I really like that Shaq car he drove last year. That was pretty cool. Steve Park, he is currently in the Busch Series, so he's still around. He's just career hasn't panned out like it did in real life, but he's still there. I do have John Hunter Nemechek's Backstreet Boys car that he drove because I just thought it was funny. And I do have the both SVG and Zilich Red Bull cars from 25. Well, now I have to get the 26 one. Lights are off the pace car. All right. 3-lap dash. Just like the last race. We've had a good amount of viewers here tonight. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Seriously, it's great hearing from you guys and everything else. It's great talking to you guys. But yeah, Steve Park is in the Busch Series. So He's been driving for Akajanian, if I said that correctly. Have you read other Indy Split or Class of 99? I have not, but I'll definitely look those up at some point for sure. All right, Tony Stewart is your leader. Bill Elliott is second. Bubba Nissen is third. Tim Steele is fourth. And Sterling Marlin is fifth. Will the race end under green, or we have another wreck? We are going to find out. 3 laps to go. Stewart leads them back to the green flag. And here we go. Back up through the gears, and we're back underway. I enjoyed seeing the Target 85 return. Yeah, that is kind of ironic, isn't it? Yeah, I believe Jack made those paint schemes. Those came out pretty well. Like I said, we got some pretty good paint schemes going for 2002, so I think you guys are going to like them when we get to that point. So we'll keep updating for sure. Stewart with a nice lead down the backstretch. Marlin to the inside of Nissen. Marlin with Kelly Earnhardt, Kenny Brack, though Earnhardt's going to go to the inside of Marlin. Marlin's going to go up to the high line. Oh yeah, the 85 not in this race? I didn't realize that. You know what? I think I had 43 cars entered, and I guess that was the one that DNQ'd. Bruh. Man, if only I could do 43 AI cars. You can, but it's not that easy. Back to the line. 2 to go. Here comes Kelly Earnhardt to the inside of Nissen for second. Though she doesn't have much help. Will it be a battle between DEI teammates? Nissen's going to hang on as Earnhardt and Brack battle for third. Indy Split is depressing, but a fascinating history lesson in what happened in IndyCar in the late 90s. Class of 99 is awesome, but of course the season in tragedy. Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'll have to look those up. Very interesting. Well, I can actually just look through the... Oh no, Terry was in this race. Sorry. Had me double guessing there for a second, like, wait a minute. Alright, teammates 1 and 2. Earnhardt and Stewart. Stewart leads. They come back to the start-finish line. White flag. Final lap here from the Nabisco Super Speedway. Stewart, Earnhardt, Nissen, Brack, Steele, Marlin, Page Jones. Stewart 15, Earnhardt 14, Nissen 59. Who's going to win it? Now in the backstretch, Nissen takes a dive to the inside, though he has no help. Unless Tim Steele can get to him. Kelly Earnhardt, however, is going to go to the inside. Look at this. Could we have a 3-wide battle for the lead? Does Earnhardt have any help as she goes to the inside of Stewart? I think she does. Earnhardt side by side with their teammate. And you know, at this point, it's every driver for themselves. Off turn 4. Nissen trying to go on the charge. Tim Steele as well. Here they come to the line. Checkered flag. Kelly Earnhardt wins it. Nearly 3 wide at the line. And Kelly Earnhardt wins here at the Nabisco Super Speedway. My goodness, what a finish that was coming to the line. Kelly Earnhardt passes her teammate for the W. A win for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated here at the Super Snack 500. I admit, that was fun doing that, because that's like a trip down memory lane doing this track. Man, how about Kelly Earnhardt, huh? That was fun. That was a fun one. Kelly Earnhardt is your winner. Bubba Nissen is second. Tony Stewart third. Tim Steele fourth. Paige Jones fifth. Sixth, Sterling Marlin. Seventh was Davey Allison. Kenny Brack 8th. A couple of Hendrick guys finished up there. 9th, Bill Elliott. 10th, Patty Moyes. There's your top 10, and looks like we had 27 cars finish on the lead lap. And about 33 cars finished the race, so... Yeah. My headphone's getting tangled up. Give me a second here. There we go. That's more like it. But, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Kelly Earnhardt does. I mean, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, I thought, had a pretty big year in 2001. So, Earnhardt snapped a winless drought. Kelly Earnhardt. Dale Jr. got his first win. Tony Stewart got his first 2 wins. At one point early in the season, Stewart looked like he could have been a championship threat. So, I'm intrigued to see how that team continues to progress going into 2002 for sure. So, whoops. So I'll show the rest of the finishing order there. All right. Well, a decent amount of cars. And Nabisco's not going to be happy. It happens. On to the next one, right? So. But, yeah. So, I think I'll start winding down here. Again, I seriously appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's been a blast talking to you guys all night, so it's been a lot of fun. DEI is starting to get their act together for SNL for sure. Yep, certainly. They're going to be a team to watch for sure going into 2002. Will Daytona return to the oval layout on the July 4th weekend in the near future, or is it staying like this? I think for now we're sticking with the road course, but obviously things could change in the future. So, I'd say never, but for right now we are sticking with the road course. And I think the Daytona road course has served well for it. So, obviously I know it's a little different, but it could alternate between the oval and the road course. Well, for sure, But again, you never know what could happen down the road. So, yeah. So, I'll keep the streams going. I'll obviously ramping up on the content. Like I said, 2002, we're getting silly season all pieced together, painting a bunch of cars, and hopefully before long get some races going. So, we made some really good progress here in the last week or two. So, and again, I'll let you guys know what the next Racing Infinity is as well. So, stay tuned for that. Like I said, we're narrowed down to a couple of ideas. So, we'll see. We'll see how it all nets out there, and I'll let you guys know what's going on there. Stay tuned for more updates, of course. Again, I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season, wonderful Christmas, New Year, whatever you may celebrate. Could we see Elio and SNL as well? He did appear in one of the Rio races. Of course, anything's possible, The possibilities are always there for Elio or even Jacques Villeneuve. I think there's a lot of excitement to look forward to, not just 2002, but in the coming seasons as we progress into the 2000s decade. So, this is a timeline where NASCAR thrives. And, NASCAR is a major deal and stays a major deal, or I should say is bigger than what it is in real life. And it's beloved by everyone, because it should be beloved by everyone, right? So, that's just my opinion. NASCAR is a sport for everybody. So, anyone can watch it. Anyone can enjoy it. Doesn't matter, who you may be or what you are. It's a sport that we can all love. So, like I said, my content's about celebrating racing. I'm not here to debate things and yell about things. I'm here to just celebrate racing. Even if I have my opinions and stuff like that, that's the goal. So. And I appreciate all the support from you guys as always. Really thankful. I'm blessed. I'm thankful that we've gotten so far with this timeline. We started this thing. I started planning for this back in the summer of 2019. and then finally got the ball rolling during basically COVID in 2020. Now here we are. I feel like we've come a long way since then, and it's crazy. I also can't help but wonder, like, I'm also like, I want to keep this trend going because I want to see what SNL is going to look like throughout the rest of the 2000s, into the 2010s, and even to today, just to see, how everyone does, who becomes stars, who becomes legends, who becomes champions, what stories are made, what highlights we may end up getting, stuff like that. So it's so much fun putting all this together. Is it a lot of work? Certainly. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. So let's see. Will Kentucky Speedway exist in the SNL timeline? I'm not going to give anything away, but all I will say is stay tuned. That's all I'll say right now. So stay tuned. How do I put this? You may have noticed that Louisville Motor Speedway is still around in Super Sportsman 2. So there's that. But I will say for now, stay tuned. And again, I won't give anything away, but obviously, it's kind of funny you asked that. Obviously, the recent news that have come out, not looking good. So, but I guess on that topic real quick, it's, that track played a huge part of my childhood and part of me becoming a racing fan, and I'm thankful for all the memories there, and dating back to, as I said, June of 2005 all the way to 2019. That's about 15 years, so a lot of great memories there. A lot of pictures I have from all the Cup races over the years that I have saved, and I'm thankful I have them saved, and they're always fun to look at and look back from. I don't know, maybe that might be a fun stream idea, just to look through some of those pictures and video and stuff like that. Maybe I can put some stuff together for that at some point. But anyway, I'm just spewing. But anyway, yeah, stay tuned regarding that. I'm not going to give much away, but because the reason why I always say, like, stay tuned, or I can't say much at the moment, is just because I love seeing people's reactions. Like, it puts a smile on my face, or like if something happens, I'm like, oh, people are gonna love this, or they're gonna love seeing this, or stuff like that. So yeah. That to me is the fun part, and I don't know. But anyhow, seriously, thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it as always. I'll let you guys know when I stream again. Definitely want to continue to do more streams and stuff like that. How widespread is safer barrier implementation looking to be in universe? This is a timeline, obviously, where I would say that NASCAR is a lot more aggressive in terms of safety enhancements, especially when we had the Super Speedway disaster and all that. So I would say that, the safer barrier implementation is, they're going to be aggressive with it and continue to improve on safety. Because one of my rules with Sunday Night Lights is no driver gets killed off. I may do injuries, but nobody, every driver will get the opportunity to, play out their career to the fullest extent. And that's always been the goal. I could not begin to imagine killing off a driver. I couldn't do it. No way. At least Memphis is being saved. Yeah, that whole IHRA thing is really interesting. And they're based out of Fairfield, which is here in Cincinnati. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll see how that nets out. Is that an Optimus Prime reference? Oh, we are here. We are waiting. Oh, yeah. Will there be a case for relief drivers? I've done so in the past. I've done it in the past before, but on very rare occasions. If it's a wreck where I know that it's not realistic, they're fine. It is what it is. But, like I said, with this game, it can be tricky just because of how goofy the wrecks can be sometimes. So, it's excuse me, good Lord. It's a almost 23-year-old video game. Good Lord. But you know what? I mean, it still serves a great purpose to a lot of people today. And the fact that this game is still going strong, came out in 2003, and now it's still going strong in 2026 is pretty awesome. So, and what's even cooler now is you see all these older games getting modded and stuff like that. I think that's really cool. So, yeah. 2002 is going to be a fun season. I really do think so. And obviously the goal is to always make every season bigger than the last, or feel bigger than the last. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Seriously, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I think we had a lot of fun here. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. And we'll do it again. We'll definitely do it again. So, yeah, that'll do it. So, have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Here's to a great 2026 season ahead. I think the Chili Bowl is this week, and we got the Rolex 24 coming up soon. So I always love watching that. So sometimes I like to, have it on while I'm sleeping, or have it on as background noise or whatever. So, all right, thank you guys so much. Good night. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. Be good to each other, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys.